Good day folks, Sean here from Air Photography. So this is just a quick update video to a video I made last week, and it's to do with the latest firmware update for the DJI Avata. So just to start out, just to get it out of the way, if you live in Canada, you don't have to worry about updating to the latest firmware. In the US, if you update to the latest firmware, you can no longer fly your Avata unless you connect a smartphone to the goggles. And we're going to talk a little bit more about that, and I'll show you a demonstration here in a second coming up. Now, just a little bit of backstory in case you didn't see the original video. Last week we got an update for the Avata, which added some pretty interesting new features. It added 10-bit color when filming in Desyn Lake, but that firmware update also provided an important fix. As you may be aware, some of these Avatas were crashing due to a tumbling issue in certain scenarios. So it was a fairly significant update, very important to get. However, one of the other things that were added in this update is remote ID in the US. And then on that video, I got a few messages and a couple emails asking why I didn't address the issue of when you update, you can no longer just fly it the way it was. You do have to connect a smartphone to the goggles. And unfortunately, I wasn't able to test that because I live in Canada. We follow Transport Canada regulations, not FAA regulations. So remote ID just doesn't exist here. I was able to fly mine without any issues, so I wasn't even aware that was a new thing now. And then on top of that, I was getting some more questions from other Canadians asking if it's safe to update because they heard that even if you live in Canada, you still have to connect a phone to the goggles before you can fly. I can't speak for everybody, for every Canadian. I live in southwestern Ontario, and for me and my location, that has not been an issue. I've been able to fly it just like normal. But let's not take my word for it. I'll just show you a quick demonstration here. Okay, so I'm going to do a quick demonstration here for you, just so you can see that there is no issue. But what I'm going to do is show you the firmware version first. So let me bring up that on the goggles. Swipe over. We'll go down to settings. Go to about. You can see the aircraft firmware version is 01.02.00.00, and you can see the remote controller firmware there and the goggles firmware. So that's the latest firmware where they introduced the 10-bit color and the remote ID for the US. Now, as you can see here, let's back up so you can see the drone. Now, as you can see here, I do have a GPS lock. We have 15 satellites, so it does know where I am. And yeah, as you can see here, no issue. I don't have to have a phone connected. As you can see, here's the goggles, no phone connected, just the battery there at the back. And there's absolutely no issue at all. So as you can see, it works perfectly fine here in Canada. You don't have to connect your phone to the goggles. So myself, I would highly recommend downloading that update. It does add some pretty important fixes. And of course, that 10-bit color is a nice feature as well. Anyways, folks, I want to thank you for taking the time to watch this video. Hopefully you enjoyed it and got some value out of it. Give it a thumbs up if you did. It's always greatly appreciated. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel so you don't miss any of our upcoming videos. And we'll see you in the next one.